You need to change your Wi-Fi name, Mr. Mason. It's threatening. That's what Clara Whitmore, my HOA president, said as she stood on my porch, clipboard in one hand, smug smile plastered across her face. Behind her were two board members who pretended they weren't there to intimidate me. I didn't blink. You mean the network that says Clara is a stalker? Her lips twitched. Yes, that one. It's slanderous. It's an SSID, I replied calmly. Not a Yelp review. If the name stings, maybe you should ask yourself why. One of the men behind her shifted uncomfortably. He knew. She knew. Everyone knew. That was the moment this quiet neighbor stopped being her target and started being her reckoning. Not just another tech guy. What Clara didn't realize was that before I moved to Brookfield Estates, I wrote intrusion detection protocols for the Treasury Department. My networks weren't off the shelf. They were traps, systems that logged every unauthorized handshake for months. When her iPad pinged my router at 2:01 a.m., I didn't just see it. I documented it. Device fingerprint. Timestamp. Signal strength. She'd trespassed on the wrong digital lawn. My wife, Rachel, had lived through worse. Years ago, after exposing fraud inside her agency, we'd been swatted. She couldn't sleep unless she saw our firewall lights blinking green. I swore no one would invade her. Peace again. And I intended to keep that promise. So, when Clara tried to frame my Wi-Fi name as hostility, I smiled. Because I wasn't implying anything. I was documenting her pattern of control. Most neighbors thought violation notices were random, just bureaucracy. But I dug deeper into the HOA portal. Using metadata hidden in PDFs, I discovered Clara Whitmore had personally authored 72% of all violations in the last year. And her targets weren't random. Families with non-standard routers. Homeowners who refused to sync security cameras to the HOA's cloud. People with smart devices she couldn't monitor. She called them network integrity risks. But what it really meant was, she wanted control over their digital lives. One young couple got fined because their Wi-Fi signal was too strong. A retired engineer was cited for using solar sensors not approved by the HOA. It wasn't enforcement. It was surveillance disguised as compliance. And Clara was the one pulling the strings. Rachel's strength. That night, Rachel brought me chamomile tea, her hands trembling just slightly. She served you a notice? I nodded. Wants me to rename the network. Calls it hostile. Her eyes hardened. And the logs. She breached twice. Tried cloning your tablet. For a second, old fear flickered across her face. Then it was gone. She steadied herself, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "Do what you need to do. I'll be okay." That moment lit a fire in me. This wasn't about Wi-Fi. It was about power. Clara thought she had it. She was wrong. The contractor who knew too much. At the clubhouse, I found the device, a disguised signal sniffer hidden near the bulletin board. Installed by Ethan Price. The jittery IT contractor Clara had hired. You installed this? I asked. He hesitated. She said it was just for interference. Section 12, Technology Optimization. Ethan, this isn't monitoring. Interference. This is surveillance. Fingerprints. Behavior logs. She's profiling people. His jaw tightened. He knew. But Clara had leverage. She gave him contracts, vouched for his work. That kind of leash feels like a lifeline, until it strangles you. I leaned closer. Give me the logs from the night Rachel's tablet froze. You won't go down for her mistakes. Not if you help now. He swallowed hard. If I give you that, I'm burned. No, I said. If you stay silent, you're buried. That night, an unmarked envelope appeared on my porch. Inside, a flash drive and a note. She made me add the adaptive trace filter. This is everything. The smoking gun. The evidence. I booted my air-gapped machine and opened the files. Thousands of lines of logs. Device IDs. Session behaviors. Spoof attempts. And there it was. Rachel's cloned tablet signature. The system hadn't just listened. It had adapted, flagging devices, profiling behaviors, predicting usage. Patterns. And every time it was activated, a hard-coded login appeared in the admin console. Whitmore at board.brookfield. She hadn't just used the system. She owned it. I encrypted the evidence, copied it to vaults, and sent a package to Mara Jensen, my old contact at the state cybercrime task force. Her reply came hours later. This is felony-level intrusion. Sit tight. We'll move when you're ready. The board meeting. 2 days later, The clubhouse was packed. Residents filled every seat, whispering nervously. The board sat up front, 7 folding chairs, and nameplates too big for their egos. At the center, Clara Whitmore, crisp blouse, perfect hair, fake smile. She clicked her remote, projecting my Wi-Fi name. Clara is a stalker, on the wall. This type of hostile conduct, she said, endangers community trust. I stood. Point of order. Context matters. Before she could silence me, I plugged in my laptop. The projector screen shifted, showing my interface. A map of Brookfield Estates lit up with colored blocks. 17 homes. Unauthorized pings. Spoof attempts. Trace logs. This system, I said, has been running for nearly a year. Installed without disclosure. And every activation traces back to one login. Clara Whitmore. Gasps filled the room. Clara's voice snapped. This is fabricated. I hit another key. Session logs appeared. Timestamps. Her email. Violation notices filed within hours. Then I showed the insurance clause. Board members personally liable if undisclosed surveillance was deployed. Faces around the table shifted. Papers rustled. One board member muttered, "You never told us this." And then, from the back, Ethan Price stepped forward. Pale, sweating, but steady. I installed the monitor, he admitted. It was supposed to be passive. She made me add filters. She ordered data stored indefinitely. She bypassed safeguards. The silence that followed was surgical. Leo, an old resident, stood. Motion to suspend Secretary Whitmore's privileges pending investigation. It passed 6-0. Clara didn't vote. She couldn't. Justice arrives. 10 minutes. Later, Mara walked in wearing jeans and a blazer. She wasn't here as a neighbor. She was here as the state cybercrime task force. We've received a referral, she said calmly. We've reviewed the logs, the access trails, the adaptive code. This system is now under investigation. Any attempt to alter or destroy it will be treated as obstruction. Clara sat frozen. Her power, her smile, her empire of intimidation, it was gone. Aftermath. 2 days later, the HOA issued a notice. Suspension of all non-resident monitoring, a full legal audit, and new technology oversight policies. Clara Whitmore's name was never mentioned. It didn't need to be. Her absence screamed louder than any fine. Neighbors who once avoided me now thanked me. Rachel finally slept without checking the firewall lights. And I changed my Wi-Fi name one last time. Not a jab, not a taunt, just a truth. Privacy is peace. The same words Rachel once held on a protest sign. The same promise I swore to protect. And this time, the whole neighborhood understood.